I heard you want to learn how to cut a watermelon. Let's do it. I have my big old watermelon here and I wanted to show you quickly some things to look for when picking out a watermelon, just so that you could have a nice, sweet, ripe one. So the first would be check to see if your watermelon has a dull green color. If it is a bit too shiny, that means it is not quite ready yet to eat, so it will not be sweet. You're also going to look for a sunspot. So this is, oh, this is kind of heavy. All right, so this sunspot is at the bottom, or kind of like by the stem area, but you could also find them on the side. It all depends on how the watermelon was laying when it was growing, but you want to look for a big yellow looking spot. And then the last way of figuring out if your watermelon is ripe is if you knock on it. So you literally would like bring it to your ear a little bit and knock on it, and then it should have a hollow sound and feeling. You probably won't be able to hear it on video. Let me see if I can try. But there should be some hollowness there, because that means our watermelon is ready. Today I'm going to show you 2 ways to cut up this watermelon using one watermelon because it's big enough. First, make sure you wash your watermelon because you don't want any type of bacteria from the outside of the skin getting into the flesh of the watermelon. And also make sure that you are working on a stable surface and have a sharp knife. To make this a little bit easier, I'm also going to cut the top and bottom of the watermelon off so that we have more of a stable surface to work with. For the first way of cutting up this watermelon, we want to get rid of the watermelon rind. So that would be all those white part here and the green. So I'm taking my knife, putting it at an angle, getting under that skin, and then just following the shape of the watermelon, trying not to get too much of the pink flesh in my cut. So because I'm showing you 2 different ways, I'm only going to do this on half of the watermelon. I absolutely love watermelon, especially in the heat and height of summertime, because it's so hydrating. It's also sweet, so you kind of get like the best of both worlds of getting your hydration in. You don't necessarily have to drink your water, you could eat it instead, and that's fun. And my most favorite way to eat this is with a little bit of lemon juice sprinkled on it. And if your watermelon is at optimum ripeness, it kind of tastes like pink lemonade to me, and I love it. To make sure that we get like the other side or the underbelly done too, I just flip it over to the other side. That's why I cut off both sides, so we have stability on both sides, and then continue to trim off all this white. For this half of the watermelon, I want to cut this into cubes. So I'm just going to take my knife and cut all the way down the watermelon and make it into basically little sheets of watermelon. Just make sure you get all the way through. Then I take the slices and kind of restack them, maybe 2 at a time, just for more stability. And then I just cut them lengthwise. And depending on how big or how small you want your cubes to be, that'll determine how wide you go with your slices or how narrow. So I cut vertically, and now I'm going to cut horizontally. I'm going to turn this around so it's easier, so you could see better. And then I just chop. And then you have yourself some watermelon cubes that that you could just throw into a bowl. I personally think that watermelon is best served cold. So if you wanted to cut up a watermelon for, say, a birthday party, barbecue, or anything of the sort, I would recommend cutting up your watermelon the day before or a few hours before and letting it sit in the fridge for a few hours so that you could get that nice chill on it. So it's hydrating and cooling while you're out in the hot sun and all those things. Sorry to interrupt, but I have some exciting news that I want to share. I started a new community called Prep, Plate, and Yap. And in this community, we are coming together the last Sunday of every month to meal prep for healthy living. Now, I know meal prepping can be very boring, sometimes feels daunting, especially if you have nobody who is on the same page with you about healthy eating, and that's why I made this community. Every month, I send out a poll to those who signed up about what they want to learn how to make that month, and then depending on the winner, I send out a grocery list, a prep list, and the link to the live cooking video. This community is designed to feel like you're cooking amongst friends, so come as you are. Be prepared to laugh and yap and learn some things about healthy eating. For more information about Prep, Plate, and Yap, click the link in the description below, and I would love to see you guys there. Now let's get back to your video. With the second half of the watermelon, I'm going to show you how to do triangular sliced watermelon. So we start off with our half, and we still have the rind on there. So we cut that in half, and now we're going to cut this half in half, so basically quartering the watermelon. So going right down the middle, making sure to watch out for your fingers. Now we have our quarters, and then from here we just slice the watermelon. And again, just like with the triangle, not triangle, just with our cubes, depending on how thick or how thin you want your watermelon, that determines where you cut. And this method, I would say, is like the best for barbecues or kiddie parties in the park and all that stuff, because you don't have to look for a container to hold the watermelon in, because the rind itself kind of works as its own little, stand. So your hand isn't getting too dirty with watermelon juice, and then you just toss the rind when you're done. And here are 2 ways to cut up your watermelon this summer season. I also have a third way using a French fry cutter. I'm gonna put that video in the corner somewhere so that you could see that and how that's done, because that's another fun way to eat your watermelon, especially if you have children. So yeah, here are my 2 ways. I hope you enjoyed this quick tutorial on how to cut up your watermelon in 2 different ways. Please let me know in the comment below any other type of things you would like to learn in the kitchen. Remember, there's nothing too easy or too hard. I would love to show you how it's done. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And remember, healthy does not mean boring. See you next time.